Meher Baba ki jai. Let's start with the message and Ashok ji, when we read the How to Love God message.
Yeah, yeah. I'll read the message. Uh, just one sec. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. How to love God. To love God in the most practical way is to love your fellow beings. If we feel for others in the same way as we feel for our own dear ones, we love God. If instead of seeing faults in others, we look within ourselves, we are loving God. If instead of robbing others to help ourselves, we rob ourselves to help others, we are loving God. If we suffer in the suffering of others and feel happy in the happiness of others, we are loving God. If instead of worrying over our own misfortunes, we think of ourselves more fortunate than many, many others, we are loving God. If we endure our lot with patience and contentment, accepting it as His will, we are loving God. If we understand and feel that the greatest act of devotion and worship is not to hurt or harm any of His beings, we are loving God. To love God as He ought to be loved, we must live for God and die for God, knowing that the goal of all life is to love God and to find Him as our own self. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. This is really a profound message. If we go through all the the dictats which Baba has given, there's a lot of practical wisdom, a lot of things coming out. Thank you, Karthik, and over to you.
Jai Baba, welcome to everybody. Let's start with we stopped at a chapter close last Saturday. So we start session number 92 with Baba's stay in Satara. And the time is 1954. So anybody wants to start reading this morning?
I can read. Okay,
Please, please, Jai Baba.
okay, Baba. Baba's stay in Satara, June to August 1954, Part 15. New Meher literature release. In the 40s, Baba had journeyed many thousands of miles to contact God intoxicated individuals known as Mat. During this period of intensive inner spiritual work with these advanced souls, Baba rarely gave public darshan. During his travels, his disciples were under strict instructions not to disclose his identity. If the people encountered along the way happened to ask who Baba was, the Mandli would refer to him as their elder brother or as a businessman, Tate from Bombay. This decade closed with Baba's inauguration of the new life, which in turn was concluded in February 1952. From April to August of this year, Baba gave his darshan to his lovers in the West. It was after his return to India during what he called the Free life that Baba visited the Hamirpur district in the north of Andhra Pradesh in the south. During these tours, Baba gave out enlightening messages on a variety of spiritual topics during the large public darshan program that had been arranged for him. In a sense, Baba was letting his name out of seclusion and allowing his message of love and truth to be disseminated openly among the masses. The public character of his working distinguished this phase in the early 50s from what had transpired previously. For the purpose of his spiritual work, Baba was now making himself available to large number of people. So in 1954, when his lovers in Amirpur and Andhra extended to their beloved God in human form another loving invitation to visit various cities, towns, and villages in their district. He accepted. And it was during these programs that, for the first time, Baba openly declared himself to be the avatar of the age. Footnote 1. Glimpses of the God Man, Meher Baba, Volume 3, page 113. EFF means what? I don't know. Following.
Which we have covered before. So basically,
Ah,
this is from the same book, volume 3.
yeah. Among the tens of thousands who had his darshan were hundreds of men and women who willingly accepted Baba's divinity in their hearts and were longing to learn more about his life. Hearts were full, but the mind craved words. Always the compassionate one, Baba invariably responds to the needs of his dear ones. So it was that at this time, books and periodicals devoted to Baba began to appear. In the United States, in July 1953, Phyllis Frederick started to publish The Awakener, a quarterly magazine. The next year witnessed the publication of Francis Brabazon's Journey with God, the first of many volumes on Baba by his close disciple from Australia. In this book, Francis portrayed in verse his personal impressions of Baba's second Andhra Darshan tour in February 1954, to which he had been invited. In the notes on the God Man, Francis wrote the following sublime lines. That man is the God Man who makes the path easy. That man is the God Man who makes the path easy. Nay, who wipes out the path altogether, goes straight to the heart of the matter, and gives one realization of the self, biggest self. The man is the God Man who makes the path easy, nay, who wipes out the path altogether, goes straight to the heart of the matter, and gives one realization of the self, biggest self. Footnote 2.
Spelled it distinctly, Francis, and I think it's from Journey with God. Yeah, Journey with God,
Journey
page
with
17.
God, page 17.
Which is a book we haven't read. We have read Stay with God.
Oh. Also in 1954, the Indian periodicals Meher Pukar and Velugu began to publish in Hindi and Telugu respectively Baba's messages as well as articles on his life. In different parts of India, small groups of Baba lovers started to hold weekly meetings. Some Baba lovers were inspired to compose bhajans and songs in praise of Baba's divinity and Amtarput, and singing these new compositions singly and in chorus gave them great joy. The first song book in praise of Baba was published under the title Sri Meher Geetawali, edited by
Vali.
Baba's dear
I think it's Geetavali.
Geetawali, okay. Sri Meher Geetawali, edited by Baba's dear disciple Keshav Nigam. This volume included ghazals, bhajans, and other songs glorifying Baba in Urdu, Hindi, Marathi, Telugu, and Gujarati. The love through
Hey,
these
Baba.
songs helped many Baba lovers from various stations and walks of life forget their differences of caste, creed, and language. Baba brought them together like beads on one string.
Yeah. One
Yeah,
pause,
Jai Baba.
Sanjay ji. Yeah.
This this book has been recently republished 1.5 years
Okay.
back by daughter of Keshav Narayan Nigam, and it is available now. It
Oh,
is also available in the Mirabad shop, bookshop. Yeah,
okay.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, you know, beads on one string or beads on single string. So he's the boss. BOSS,
Ah,
beads on single string. Jai Baba.
okay.
Trump has
बूस हो
really
गया ये
got into. Huh?
तो बन बूस हो गया ये तो single string will become boss. Yes, BOSS. Yeah,
Yes.
Jai Baba.
In June 1954, another collection of songs composed by Tullu Meshram, entitled Meher Prakash Bhajanwali, was published by Meher Publications in Ahmednagar. These songs gave expression to the sublime feelings that flowered in the garden of Tullu's love for Baba. In retrospect, it seems that a new avenue to Meher Baba opened up in 1954, an avenue of publications of Baba's words and books and booklets about him, through which greater number of people could learn about the avatar. The silence of the avatar began to communicate itself to his dear ones through the words he inspired in some of his lovers' hearts. The silence of the avatar began to communicate itself to his dear ones through the words he inspired in some of his lovers' hearts. Baba's Nagpur visits and Tullu Meshram. Each one in Baba's family has his or her own story of the beloved. I would like to interject here an episode from the early life of Tullu Meshram, one of Baba's dear lovers and author of the song collection Meher Prakash Bhajanwali. Meshram first heard of Baba when he was just 13 years old. He was living with his family in Nagpur, a city Baba visited for a few days in December 1937. Accompanied there by several of the Mandli, including Princess Norina Mechibelli, Baba stayed at Mary Lodge, the home and estate of Papa Jassewala, Eric's father, in a locality known as Savni. Savni
Camp. Chavani. Camp. Camp. Camp.
camp. Okay. Because of various incidents that took place at the time, a certain amount of publicity attended Baba's visit to the city, and reports about him began to appear in newspapers. Tullu himself did not see Baba at this time. However, while reading the press reports about his visit, something touched his heart, and he felt impelled to find more about this man who had become the center of so much interest. Those around Baba have often noticed that as the propitious moment of one's coming into the orbit of the avatar, love draws near, a number of seeming coincidences occur. Sometimes gently, sometimes forcefully. These coincidences push one towards him. In Sallu's case, it was simply a newspaper account that made the initial contact. But before continuing with Meshram's story, I cannot resist recounting a unique episode that took place during the course of Baba's stay in Nagpur in December 1937. While it does not relate directly to Meshram, It does convey a sense of the atmosphere that prevailed around Baba at this time. After all, Baba is the timeless one. So any story that provides occasion for loving remembrance of him serves the purposes of this chronicle. This striking anecdote was told to me by Gaimai Jesabala, Eric's mother, who was Baba's hostess for his visit. Gaimai recollects the story as follows. Beloved Baba stayed at our house, Mary Lodge in Nagpur for 3 or 4 days in December 1937. Was delightful and memorable for all of us. Some of the time was taken up with a public darshan program that was held on the estate for 3 consecutive days. On one occasion, soon after Baba arrived with Norina and a few of his men Mandli, I noticed a woman entering. All of a sudden, she began to shout loudly and repeatedly, Kalanki Avatar has come. Kalanki Avatar has come. Kalanki, Kalki Avatar means the white horse avatar of the expected one or the expected one. White horse avatar.
think
Trying to
Kalki.
pass
I think Kalki. I
Kalki,
think they're
Kalki.
called.
It is
Yeah,
Kalki actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
There are some paintings and pictures of Baba on the horse depicting this avatar
Yes.
impression.
Yeah, that's also as per the Zoroastrian kind of whatever you call it
Okay.
history.
Uh,
The uh, it is supposed to be very uh, good omen if you see a flying horse in Zoroastrianism. And there is a story that I read. I'll tell shortly. The priest in Ahmednagar Parsi Fire Temple was against Baba. And there was a story that in the dreams he sees Baba coming on a white horse, flying white horse. Yeah, Jai Baba. That's there on the Iraj talks. Yeah, Jai Baba.
okay. Trying to pacify her, I asked her where she had come from and what was the purpose of her visit. In a very agitated tone, she told me her story. She said she was the wife of a judge in Baroda, Gujarat, and had a guru who had died some time back. She had a vision or a vivid dream in which the guru told her that she should go at once to Nagpur to a place called Savni camp where uh, Sakshat Parabrahma, Paramatma, God manifests in human form as the Kalanki avatar was going to give darshan. Accordingly, she caught the first available train and after arriving at Nagpur and getting directions, she came straight to our house. She brought her brother and sister-in-law with her for Baba's darshan. Hearing her story, I offered her food and refreshment, but she refused, impressing upon me that our entire household should desist from eating while Sakshat Parameshwar was in our house. When the darshan program started, the woman worked herself into a frenzy, proclaiming repeatedly that the Kalanki avatar had come and that all should hasten to take his darshan. He kept rushing back and forth in the great crowd of darshanites who kept filing past Baba. Eventually, Baba called for Norina and told her to instruct the woman to make her announcement to a group of women sitting in the far end of the hall and not to shout near him. But Norina politely argued that because of the language barrier between them, it would be difficult to make the woman understand what she was saying. However, Baba gestured to her to speak to the woman anyway. So Norina threaded her way through the crowd and started to give Baba's message in English, speaking slowly. But evidently the woman guessed from Norina's beautiful feature and continental manner where she was from, and started conversing with her in broken Italian. Amazed, Norina then realized why Baba had insisted that it should be she of all people who should converse with the woman. Later on, when I was laundry, washing Baba's laundry, this same woman approached me and asked to be allowed the great privilege of also washing some of his clothes. But as it was Baba's order that I alone should perform this task, I had reluctantly to refuse her earnest request. But while Baba was out of his room, she managed somehow to get hold of a pair of his chappals, sandals, and with great fervor went around the house, tapping the heads and faces of everyone with them. Although the judge's wife was a stranger to Gaimai and did not return to Mary Lord thereafter, what was significant about her visit was that she gave to the people of our age an early intimation that the avatar was again in our midst. This came along before Baba himself was openly to assert his status as that same ancient one. Apparently, the time had not yet arrived for people to hail Baba publicly as the avatar. The woman's sudden arrival and departure was like a streak of lightning flashing for a few moments across the sky, only to vanish as quickly as it had appeared. It seems that whatever little time she spent in Baba's presence must have must have filled her heart to the brim with his divine love. Silently, Baba bestowed upon her the deep conviction of his being the avatar. This awakening to Baba's presence within her heart was so profound that she had no need to see him again physically, nor did Baba inquire about her further. Incredible. In his all encompassing divinity, Baba knows what one needs, how much, and when. Such was the divine charisma and magnetism of Baba's personality that in his presence, extraordinary incidents like this were not unusual. To resume Sallu Meshram's story in 1938, a year after Baba's darshan program in Nagpur, while Sallu was still in his early teens, he took to visiting the Jasewalas, and there he learned more about Baba. Procuring Baba's address, he wrote him a letter in which he expressed his desire to see him in person. Baba, in response to Sallu's longing, lovingly granted his request. And so, in the first week of April 1938, overjoyed at receiving Baba's invitation, this young boy of 14 left Nagpur by train on a 700-mile journey to Panchgani, not far from Pune, where Baba was then residing. Some of the money some of the money for the trip had been provided by his school principal who was interested in spirituality. At Kalyan, which is a junction, Sallu had to change trains. But upon leaving the compartment, he found to his dismay that his suitcase containing clothes, some Baba photos, and all his money had been stolen. He was literally penniless. Only two baskets of oranges which his Jesewalas had entrusted to him to give to Baba, remained. What a predicament for a young boy venturing alone to on such a long trip. Although he had lost even his ticket, somehow he managed to get on to another train, wondering all the while why such misfortune should befall him when the journey he was engaged in was to meet the all compassionate one. Yet it is not uncommon for people to lose something tangible when they are traveling to meet the avatar. Perhaps these tangible losses are an indication that one should be willing to part also with the intangible thoughts and feelings that stand in the way of seeing the God man as he ought to be seen. Perhaps, I thought of reading it once again.
Yeah, sure.
Perhaps these tangible losses are an indication that one should be willing to part also with the intangible thoughts and feelings that stand in the way of seeing the God man as he ought to be seen. Okay. When he arrived in Pune, Kallu had no idea how he would travel on to Panchgani with no ticket and no money. But as luck would have it, he met a bus driver bound for Panchgani and told him of the theft of his suitcase. The driver not only believed his story, but as it turned out, had formerly seen one of the servants who years earlier had carried water to Baba's bungalow and so had a special feeling for him. This driver happily agreed to give Sallu a free ride to Panchagani. Once again, Baba's unseen guiding hand had silently taken care of the details of a lover's journey to him. When he got off the bus in Panchagani, to the boy's complete surprise, a stranger approached him and asked if he was Sallu Meshram. This stranger turned out to be Baba's brother Jal, who by Baba's order had been waiting to receive him. As it happened, Papa Jashabala had sent a telegram from Nagpur to Panchagani informing Baba about Mishram's departure. John took Sallu to the Mandli's residence. A short while later, Baba arrived and took his seat, his long hair flowing and a radiance glowing on his face. Sallu's heart kept within him, leaped within him, and he rushed to Baba, prostrating himself at his feet. Baba lovingly inquired about his journey and he beamed a smile as he heard about the theft of the suitcase, for he had committed a far greater theft. He had stolen the young boy's heart. In his enthusiasm, Sallu exclaimed that he wished to offer his life to Baba and to obey him implicitly. Baba did not respond at that moment, but asked him to go with Vishnu, one of the Mandli, to rest in a nearby lodge. Sallu stayed on in Panchagani for 3 days. On the second day, while he was having a bath, another of Baba's disciples, Gustaji, came into the room. Because he was observing silence, Gustaji conveyed through his signs that Baba had summoned Sallu to come to him immediately. Sallu had heard that whenever called, one was expected to go without delay. Although he had just started his bath and was wearing only his underwear, he left immediately without taking time to dress further. He found Baba sitting with a few of his disciples, half naked. Half naked Sallu stood before him. Baba asked, "Have you slept well? Did you have any special thought?" Sallu replied, "Baba, I spent several hours singing songs in your praise. Baba looked happy and gestured, fit for the spiritual path. As Sallu had obeyed Baba immediately without question, Baba gave him some guidelines to follow. They were: he should never tell a lie to anyone, he should abstain from lustful actions, smoking, and alcohol, and he should not eat meat, fish, or eggs. Further, Baba instructed Sallu to meditate for an hour every day and to write Om Parabrahma Baba for another hour daily. On the last day of Sallu's visit, Baba ordered Vishnu to make arrangements for his return to Nagpur. Sallu was taken by car to Pune on the first leg of this trip, and from there a train ticket to Nagpur was bought for him. In short, Baba paid for his entire return fare. What a royal sender from the king to one of his teenage lovers. He had come to Baba penniless but was leaving with the coffers of his heart filled with real spiritual treasure. He arrived safely in Nagpur, where he gave full account of his stay with Baba to the Jesawala family. After this initial meeting, a rapport was established between Sallu and Baba, which continued to grow through the years. Baba sowed the seeds of love divine in Sallu's heart, and in time this seed began to germinate and flourish as naturally and spontaneously as a bud opening its brightly colored petals to the sunlight. In early 1954, he was inspired to compose songs about Baba in both Hindi and Marathi. Compiled in Meher Prakash Bhajan Bali, these songs were the fragrant flowering of Sallu's love for the eternal beloved. Correspondence reopened.
So
New
maybe we can
circular.
rotate the reading if you want.
Yes,
Thanks
yes.
for reading. Anybody else wants to read from the point on? And Tama, I have a question. You had trouble with this Teams link, right? Where it asks you for the code when you got the new phone. You fixed that by just signing in as a user and then trying again, correct?
You are asking me?
No, I'm
No,
asking Tama.
Okay,
no,
okay.
no. Actually, with the new phone, every time now I have to restart my phone and click on the link. If I click on the link that you send, that keeps going on and on and on. It doesn't open, so I have to restart the phone and then I click, and then the team starts.
Okay. So I think we have to refresh this link. This link is more than 6 years old now. Teams has
Yes.
changed their technology and they use a code. So, like Zoom meetings have a meeting code and a password. That's what they use. But this is still supported on some versions, and obviously, all of us are able to get in. Nomita ji has been texting on the side saying she's struggling to get in from a new phone. I told her what I remembered that we did when you had this problem, Tama. So, anyway, let's see what happens. But I think we have to refresh this code, but then that's a huge problem. I mean, I hope people will navigate and migrate to the new code, new meeting link easily. But I'll probably set it up for next week.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mamaji, for reading till now. Anybody? Bhushanji, you want to read?
Yeah, Jai Baba, sure.
Sure.
Shall I?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. Correspondence reopens, new circular issued. In June 1954, after concluding his long stay in Mahabaleshwar that had begun on November 1st of the previous year, Baba shifted his headquarters to Satara, a nice city in Maharashtra. Maharashtra state. Like Mahabaleshwar, Satara was already familiar to those accompanying Baba, since Baba had established must ashrams in both places in the late 40s. Two bungalows, about a mile apart, were rented for Baba's use. The bungalow named Grafton was reserved for Baba and then the women mandali, while the small group of his main disciple occupied Rosewood. In the mornings, Baba, with one of his disciples, the night watchman, or someone else ordered by him, would walk briskly to Rosewood to attend to correspondence and to discuss the details of his day to day activities. Baba houses were located in the camp
Both
area.
houses.
Both houses were located in the camp area, a quiet part of Satara with many pleasant bungalows, large and small, surrounded by well kept gardens and hedges. The roads were broad, clean, and relatively uncrowded. The climate in that part of Maharashtra is comfortable throughout the year, neither too hot nor too cold. In general, Satara was an inviting place of residence, and it was a special favorite of Baba's. By the end of May, the restriction on correspondence to Baba had ended, so mail began to flow in Baba's dear ones who had been eagerly awaiting the opportunity to write him about assorted family news and the programs they had arranged to spread his message of love. Since Baba was often on tour, they had been directed to write to him in care of Adi in Ahmednagar. Most of the mail bore the glad tidings of their love for him, but there were a few problem cases. On June 2nd, Adi received the following telegram addressed to Baba. Resign job on 1st June 1954 in obedience to your order. Left wife on 18th October 1953. Living separately in hotel. Kindly give me sannyas and allow me to live on begging in any place. This surprising communication from Kuppu Swami, who had been in contact with Baba for over a decade. Kuppu Swami was sincere in his search for God, but rigid in his ideas of how to conduct this search. The implication in his telegram that Baba had ordered him to leave his wife and job was totally unfounded. He was vaguely trying to use Baba's discourse on external renunciation to suit his own convenience. Baba's close ones knew that he did not wish his lovers to abandon their families and responsibilities. In meetings, large and small, Baba had repeatedly conveyed to them, remember me wholeheartedly, I will be with you. I will help you. Be in the world, but not of it. Internal rather than external renunciation was what Baba wished of his lovers. Under Baba's direction, Adi replied to Swami that Baba had not ordered him to renounce the world as he had done, and that he had misconstrued Baba's words. A part of Adi's letter which illustrates his forceful way of writing is reproduced below. I received your letter. It seems that once more a wave of deception and foolishness has come upon you, and so once more, the third or perhaps fourth time in your life, you have given up your job. You say that you have given up your house and the world also. This is not what Baba asked you to do. This has been a cowardly move on your part. You were repeatedly warned before not to dabble with whimsical, cynical moves in life and call them your own exalted spirituality. If you are still a wise man, if there is some sanity left in you, you must immediately give up your false thinking and unnatural way of life and immediately go back to your job, to your house, to your family, and resume discharging honestly the duties of life. Baba can be pleased by your taking up a life of true karma yogi, a person leading a householder's life in the loving remembrance of God, dedicating the results of his or her actions to him. Whether or not Swami went back to his duties at the income tax department in Bangalore, I do not know. In November 1955, however, I remember seeing him at a Sahwas program dressed in ochre colored pajama pants and knee length shirt. Except for a general greetings in Baba's love, I had no chance to talk with him. At one point in the gathering, however, Baba, on seeing Swami's ochre colored kalni, remarked, one has to dye one's heart with the color of detachment and not just one's clothes.
Ochre color is nothing but what do you call saffron, the one that monks use.
Okay.
Worth remembering sentence.
Yeah, very good sentence. You can mark it. Just hold on.
Yeah,
Jay
Jay
Baba, it's a lesson to all of us about the importance of internal renunciation rather than external renunciation. So it's, I think, especially for this civilization, 21st century economy, I think that being a karma yogi is a good way to have that kind of renunciation. Jay Baba.
Yeah, it just reminded me of do not shirk your worldly responsibilities. I mean, that message which Baba had given in one of the various messages. So it's same thing that you have to, get closer to God, but at the same time, do not shirk your worldly responsibilities. Yeah, Baba.
Shall I?
Please, please.
Yes, yes. Continue.
Apart from Swami's way of leading his life, here I am reminded of a significant anecdote that Swami had shared with me. In the mid 40s, during my stay at Mehrabad, Swami told me that while playing cards, Baba made a meaningful and symbolic observation about the Joker. In spite of being the highest card in the many card games, the Joker can replace any other card, high or low, in any suit. Baba conveyed. The avatar is like the Joker. He jokes and juggles with all, and yet he's above all.
Avatar is like the Joker. He jokes and juggles with all, and yet he is above all. Okay.
It's a very good analogy because if you look at the card, you do not realize the worth of it when you're in the game. But as we see, it can replace anything and can take on the value that's required by the player. So it's a very nice analogy. Right? Yes, Kushal.
From Baba's statement, I gather that the avatar is equally approachable and available to all, the clever and the dull, the discreet and the whimsical. So Baba, with his sense of humor and his unconditional patience, must have guided Kupuswamy in acquiring the right perspective in his relationship with him, the avatar. During the months of April and May, Adi had been keeping Baba informed on the progress of plans for a large gathering of his followers later that year at Mehrabad. After considering various suggestions offered by the Mandali, Baba finally decided to hold this meeting in September. So on June 10th, Adi issued a special circular to inform Baba lovers residing in different parts of India of this decision. The complete text is reproduced below to give reader an idea of how particular Baba was about the details connected with any of his programs. 1. Avatar Meher Baba desired to meet at Mehrabad, Ahmednagar on 29th and 30th September 1954. His close disciples, devotees, associates, and all those who love him, irrespective of whether at any time they saw or did not see him. Second, only those who genuinely interested in Baba as Baba or in his work need to take the trouble of going to him and availing themselves of the occasion of getting benefited by his presence and getting a true understanding of his work. Third, in the meeting or meetings that will be held at Mehrabad, Baba wants to make absolutely clear, certain, and original text has missing word error here. Okay.
One word may be missing here.
Yeah. His work in this life, just as the Rajmendri meeting in Andhra state called for his work and workers was the first and last of its kind. So also this Mehrabad meeting will be the first and last of its kind before he gives up his present physical body. Fourth, with the exception of a mass darshan program that will be held on 12th September 1954 in Ahmednagar proper, I think proper, when he may give a message or messages, the above Mehrabad meeting occasion will be the last for him to give message or messages. Fifth, amongst the many phases of Baba's work, The one that signifies the act of giving messages will be discontinued from the beginning of October 1954 onwards. They will veritably and literally be stopped. Sixth, all those males only above the age of 16 who decide to attend the Mehrabad meeting should fill in the acceptance form provided herewith, sign it, and send it so as to reach Adike Irani not later than 1st August 1954. 7. All those who decided to attend the meeting should individually send as Dakshana rupees 22 by money order to Adike Irani to reach him not later than 1st August 1954. 8. On receipt of acceptance forms and the money orders from the intending visitors, they will be provided with by post or otherwise ad- an admittance form or a token that will give them entrance to Mehrabad and will permit them free of charge boarding and lodging for 29th and 30th September 1954 and a free bus ride from Ahmednagar railway station to Mehrabad and back. 9th, all should bring with them their bedding rolls, battery torches, and clothes, enough to last them for their journey both ways, and 2 days stay at Mehrabad for their greater convenience. Due to scarcity of water, it will not be possible to wash or get washed soiled clothes during their stay at Mehrabad. 10th, all attendants at the meeting will bear their own expenses for the journey from their place of residence to Ahmednagar railway station and back. 11. Those all those attending should decide, find out and fill in a column that will provided in a slip attached to the admittance form giving the precise time and day of their arrival at Ahmednagar railway station between the afternoon of 20th September and early morning of 29th September 1954. 12th, to ensure your free bus ride from Ahmednagar railway station to Mehrabad, you should reach Ahmednagar railway station at the following hours. 20th September via Daund at 2:21 p.m. and 9:23 p.m. 20th September via Manmad at 3:24 p.m. 29th September via Manmad at 12:36 a.m. I think there is footnote 3. Life Circular number 18, June 10th, 1954.
Let's take a pause here. So, what has changed since the circulars of those days and these days? Any comments or observations that you all made when you read this? So, this is very familiar or comforting compared to compared to circulars that we get even today, right? So, I think the emphasis on train is a lot more now. I mean, a lot less now because I think they still run the buses from the train station. They still run buses from the bus station, but then I think pilgrims are distributed across all modes of transport now. And I think the trains are so many that they have it. They have a lot more buses, whereas the point number 12 in the circular seems to suggest there were just a few trains, and specific to those trains, there will be buses bringing them to Mehrabad. Yeah, Ravi.
Yeah, do they have buses running from Ahmednagar station to Mehrabad even now?
During Amar Tithi, during the events.
During
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see.
yeah. I'm just comparing it to a circular that we get for Amar Tithi or Silence Day these days versus how it was back in the day when Baba was there. The other thing, obviously, I think is the water situation. So the first time I went to Mehrabad, there was elaborate and repeated, insistence that you take a bath every alternate day. Now, I don't know if it's still the rule, but I don't think they talk about it at all.
I think
So
they
of
have
course,
plenty of water now. A lot of
yeah,
rain.
now it's a lot better now. But I remember I used to be super guilty. I never broke the rule in the days that they were telling me that you should have it alternate days. But I used to be super sensitive about water usage back in the day. But now I think it's a little liberal. You're right.
Liberal. We used to get, I don't know whether we got it directly from Ahmednagar or there used to be Avatar Meher Baba Andhra Center in Kakinada. They used to get it and my father used to get it. Somehow I used to hear from my father whenever he got circulars, when he was talking to my mother and sister.
Yeah, that was the procedure, and that I think is
Probably,
still
yeah.
followed to the day. Where, of course, everything reaches individuals by WhatsApp and email much before.
Yeah,
But
now
the
it
procedure
changed.
is the trust. Yeah, the procedure is the trust sends well in advance the circulars to the listed centers that they have on record, all the city centers. And then they are supposed to put it up on notice boards and share with their groups. So all of the protocols
Another
and
point
processes
is,
that have been followed from the time
yeah.
of Baba. Yeah, Ravi.
So another point is Baba was there, so messages from Baba is different from
Yes.
getting messages from somebody else now. So
Yes. Yes, but I think the
right.
tone and tenor and the attention to detail is pretty familiar. That's all I was like. Okay, let's continue. Anybody else has any comment? Okay, Bhushanji, let's continue. Or you want to?
Shall I or?
Yeah, please. Maybe we can rotate after this section.
Okay.
Please continue.
A wave of delight swept over Baba's lover when they received this circular. Their eyes would soon rest upon their beloved. Once again, they would bask in his glorious presence. For some, it was their first opportunity to meet him. As it turned out, Baba inaugurated a new phase in his work with this meeting, despite the circular announcing this as the last Sahwas, as several Sahwas programs were held at Mehrabad subsequently in the later 50s. Though none could not guess the significance of this gathering, all were thrilled at the prospect of being in the company of the avatar of the age. Links of love.
Yeah,
While
I
the
thought maybe
preparation,
we can rotate the reading if somebody else wants to read. Ravi, you want to read for the bit?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Thank you, Bhushanji. And go ahead, Ravi.
Links of love. While the preparations for the meeting at Mehrabad were getting underway, changes were occurring in the lives of several members of the Kotwal family. The Kotwals had long been living in the close association with Baba. In June 1954, Nazu Kotwal completed her nursing degree and was expecting a position in Bombay. By this time, her sister, Ella, was married, and Adi, her brother, had just embarked on university study in Pune. Their father, Sevak, was one of the residents.
Okay.
His brother died, right? His brother died. Nazu also died. Illa, I'm not sure. Is she still living or Illa Kotwal?
The page is not visible.
Yeah. So I had
Caricatures are there. Yes, sir.
I used to be very
I
friendly with Nazu Kotwal whenever I visited
um,
Hyderabad.
okay, there was a power situation, so my laptop is working, my monitor went off. I don't know why
I
that
think I
happened
mentioned
because there's supposed to be a
Ravi,
UPS.
yeah, I recently read that book. He gives the ocean on the Naso family,
yeah, that
and
Nazu Kotwal.
that's like a prescription book. Every Baba lover must read. The level
Read
of
that.
surrender that her mother, especially her mother, when she uh, came to Baba, she was from a very elite Parsi family in Mumbai and decided to marry Nazo's father. From there on, the story goes, and it's very beautiful. Somebody who's not read it must read it.
I
Yeah,
see.
I recently read, so I
Yeah. And also, I heard recently the brother and his wife died in an accident, and they had a
It's
baby.
not recent. It's very long time back. This must be 92, 92, 92,
Oh, is that
93,
right?
that
Somebody
time.
was telling
Yeah,
me
yeah,
when
yeah.
that.
Because when I was in Mumbai and then Najo Kotwal used to be visiting Mumbai and come to center, they would, and Nazo's brother, his wife,
She
his
died in Bombay,
son.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They died on a road accident from
road accident, and they were
Bombay
all
to Pune.
searching for
Yeah.
the. Who was
Yes,
telling
yes,
me?
Bombay to
Somebody was
Pune, and it
telling me.
was close to Pune, and they were shifted to Pune in a hospital where they didn't survive. Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Oh my God, 92.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, around that time. I'm not exactly, but very early. My very early days in Mumbai. Those times I
Yeah.
came here in '87, but few years later this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next paragraph. Their father said,
Yeah, you
next
can just
paragraph.
read. Yeah, you can just read from here because the line continues.
Okay. Their father, Sevak, was one of the resident Mandali, traveling with Baba wherever he went. And their mother, Nargis, had been living at Mehrabad for many years. The children had grown up at Mehrabad and they would go there to stay for their school vacations. But now that her children were older, Baba suggested that it would be more practical for Nargis to leave Mehrabad and resume her life in Bombay. I thought she used to live in London. Correct, Sanjay? Nargis.
No. Nargis never lived in London. Hila, the other daughter.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, Hila
Yeah.
stayed in London.
Hilla
He
used to live
married
in London.
North Indian. Yeah.
Oh, she's older than Nazu Kotwal, huh? I thought younger than
Yes.
Nazu. I see.
Uh,
All right, Karthik,
so,
display. I will read what's going on.
Yeah. I think I'll stick to displaying from my laptop. The power recycled again.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Nazo was
children
older.
had
That's
grown
what
up at
she got married earlier also. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, why?
Yeah.
For some reason,
Yes.
I don't know why I was thinking she's younger than
Yes.
Nazu. Very sweet lady. Baba's love used to come.
Her videos are available.
Nargis.
Yeah, Nazo's videos are there. Yeah, on the YouTube. Yeah, Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Nargis had heard of Baba through her husband, Sevat, who had first met him in 1930s. In the intensity of his love for Baba, Sevak wanted to leave his bank job in Bombay and live with him permanently.
Yeah,
Wait one
he was a
second.
banker. Savak was a banker, and
Mm.
this girl used to visit the bank, and they fell in love and decided to marry. That's how the story
Mm.
goes. And Savak was
Mm.
not from a very affluent family, and he was crazy about the spiritual masters. And before he went to Baba, he used to visit many
Oh,
saints around the city.
yeah,
And
I
every
heard that.
weekend he would go to Mehrabad, and then that's
Mm.
how that happened. Yeah, Jai Baba.
Okay, are you going to keep it steady,
I
Karthik?
hope so. I
My
hope so.
All right.
I hope
Just a
After
so.
wild
several
thought.
years,
I'm sorry,
sorry,
Jai Baba.
go
Sorry,
ahead.
Ravi. You go ahead, please. Yeah,
No
sorry.
problem, no problem. Go ahead.
No, you finish what you're saying.
Sunil
Yeah.
ji, yeah, okay.
No. Ravi ji, you
Uh,
had continuous thought.
After
Mine is new. So you finish first.
after several years, in response to his heart's longing, Baba granted his wish on the condition that Sevak sell everything, gladly availing himself of this rare opportunity. By March 1940, Savak had managed to sell off all of his property and came to stay with Baba in Bangalore, bringing with him his wife and three children. Nargis loved Savak wholeheartedly. As a woman loves a man, coming from a wealthy family, for love's sake, she had given up everything to become the wife of Savak, who was not a rich man. Later, she joined hands with Savak in his new spiritual adventure of leading an austere ashram life with Baba. She had not been consciously seeking God herself, but because of her love for Savak, she agreed to adhere to this unforeseen and sometimes difficult way of life. Thus, she shared in a good fortune of living at Mehrabad under Baba's direct instructions for many years. Any link of selfless love with anyone, when it is accompanied by the spirit of willing sacrifice, eventually leads a person to God. I just
If
want
I can
to
pause
give
you,
you my,
Ravi.
yeah.
Yeah. I think Sunil was trying to say something. I'll
Oh,
let
sorry,
him
sorry,
finish what he's
Sunil.
saying,
Yeah,
and
go
then
ahead.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sunil
okay.
ji.
Thank you. Thanks, Karthik. So wild thoughts always run in my mind. I'm sorry for that. But when I heard about austere life of this gentleman uh, and that he was seeking Baba and spiritual masters, and about 10 minutes before also this thought came across my mind, what has changed in 100 years past Baba? Avataric period is 800 to 1400 years. The
No, no.
OS should last for 800 to 1400 years, depending on whenever the next advent is. So, but the world around us has changed so much. Water, so much abundance now. There wasn't anything. I remember, I get reminded of the hill, completely barren. It's very green now. Human life expectancy has gone up so much. Comforts have increased. OS was dictated about 100 years ago. Uh, just thinking, how do we adapt? What compared to a person 100 years ago and now? Also, I was thinking, I'm seeing, maybe it's just my random thinking. I used to hear a lot more people so much spiritually connected at around my grandfather's time. My grandfather, Namita's grandfather, my grandfather's father, they used to meditate, be very saintly, very disconnected towards the end of their life, particularly, and a lot more people. And so do I hear around. I don't see that now. This is much more material world today.
So how does the same OS which existed 100 years ago apply to us today? What do we change? What do we do? Uh, Sorry, random thoughts again.
Yeah,
Hard
yeah.
for me to summarize.
I think, yeah, yeah. Sunil, I think the thoughts are very genuine. And Baba has given my constant remembrance is the only thing that probably is we have to hold on to him. That's it. Other things probably with the way of life that is so intense and so time consuming and hardworking. I don't think we can do other things uh, as much as we would like to do. You know, solitude and meditation and prayers and everything. So what we can do is just to keep him in our mind and remember him always. That's the
Mm.
only practical,
Mm.
yeah.
Beautifully said.
Because things would keep changing actually. Every 50, 100 years, I mean, things have been changing all the time. It's not just this, just when the avatar visits, the rate of change of things becomes very accelerated. That's always has happened, right? So two world wars and the technological changes, advancement, industrialization after the First World War, all that has seen. So this 100 years to 200 years is the avatar's big effect, and after that it's not as much. And then things, of course, one has work as per his plan, but his direct presence, which we are lucky to be around, uh, is like the scent fades away a bit, and then he has to. That is what the reason that makes him to come again after 700 years. Yeah, Baba. That's it. Yeah.
Jai Baba,
Beautifully
Jai
said.
Baba.
Beautifully said, Sanjay. But another
Thank
thought that comes to me, along with Sanjay's thoughts, is I was looking at all these inventions that happened early 20th century. Baba commented to, I think, one of the American, I think probably Don Stevens, I don't remember, but he said all the inventions I created, and the purpose of the creations is for my avataric work. That's what Baba said. If Newton found out the classical mechanics or the Einstein figured out some laws, ultimately what we are realizing is we are able to use all these WhatsApp and Facebook, whatnot, Zoom sessions, You are in Singapore, I'm in US, and Karthik is in Dubai, rest of them are in India. See, we're able to connect and talk about Baba. And as Sanjay ji said, and I think we have to live in the world. As the world changes, we have to change. If we don't change, we have problem. But always, love is a love. Whether you are in the Krishna period or Buddha period or Christ period or Meher Baba period, is the wholehearted remembrance. That is the main thing. Whether you're using WhatsApp or you're using a hammer and a chisel to write any scripture. Yeah, Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Nothing is constant but change, and of course the pace of change has increased with disruptive technologies, which I learned from Karthik and many others, but mainly from Karthik. And also there is a shift from spirituality to materialism or duality. But I think this might be a cleansing process, or let's say some sort of way of reducing uh, duality, so, and as preparing us for as a precondition for getting more attached to spirituality. There are more numbers of people who are coming in Baba's fold, as I see when I visit meetings or when I visit Mirabad. So there is a transformation, if I may say, is happening. Is my view. Jai Baba.
I'd like to add on to what Ashok ji said. I was waiting for everybody to finish. So I agree with what Ashok ji said. So I think in alongside the acceleration of all the material advancement, which I think again is propelled by Baba's advent, there is a quantitative change in the number of people that take up uh, thinking about the question, "Who am I?" Right. So there's if you look around you, and the proportion becomes even more stark and pronounced if you go to the West. Like Sunilji said, always the East was more inward looking, more looking towards God and religion and so on. But if you look overall, I believe that we have never seen so many people asking the question. We have never seen so many spiritual masters get the kind of following that they're getting. Now, again, you might argue that, oh, but they're all not coming to the avatar. I am still looking at it from the point of view of how many people are even considering to ask the question, considering renunciation, considering, looking at this in a serious manner. And I think the numbers are never been higher. So, in that sense, I'm contrary to what my view is contrary to what Sunilji is saying. So, material advancement on one side, and at the same time, they are deeply spiritual, right? So, let's take two examples. Someone I like and someone I don't, but both of them at their pinnacles of their careers, and even from a contribution to society and wealth creation perspective, right? So you take Steve Jobs. He was supposed to be inspired by Eastern philosophy and spirituality in a big way. Zuckerberg, again, same claim, right? So and so many others are uh, at the top of their game, but they also have a side which is spiritual. So I think Baba's working in a big way. Is my view.
Correct, Karthik. Only thing we should also read Baba's message where he says that the threefold of the world will get destroyed, and also read the new humanity message in the discourses, which gives shape of things to come that Baba is indicating in that message. Yeah, and that is going to get transformed through these innovations. And when humanity gets sick of too much of material world, they will turn
Materialist.
toward the spirituality. That's what it is called for.
Exactly.
I think that peak will come when we don't know, but as we see, it is not very far.
Imminent.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you
it's not very
uh,
far. The kind of
like
wars and everything happening and alliances being made and broken around the world. Yeah. So
have you heard Elon Musk speak lately? The last interview I watched, he said by 2035, which is, I hope I heard him correctly, just about 10 years from now, money will lose its value. And he said it
oh,
at three different places. So there's a big transformation that's coming, very, very, very big. And the interviewer asked him, you say this when you become a trillionaire, you have this
First time trillion.
IPO, and then money loses its value. He's very calm. He says, yeah, because AI is going to make all the material things so abundant that you may not need to work. Nobody may need to work. Then the question, one of the interviewers asked him, and he said it also. The problem that I foresee is what will be the purpose of life if you don't need money? Because everybody gets into jobs today to earn money. There's a purpose. So think deeply. People
right,
will,
right.
forced to question, why am I here? What is the purpose?
Yeah, yeah.
So
The book,
I don't know if
What I
that's,
Am Doing Here, is a book
yeah.
of Baba's messages.
Yeah. What am I?
Yeah,
Ivy
what
Juice
I'm doing
wrote
here.
that book, right? What am I
Yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah,
here?
yeah.
Ivy Juice
Yes,
wrote
yes.
that book. I have that copy. I didn't
Okay.
read it, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have not heard of that book. I think I'll
yeah.
go back to something Kama and I love. Maslow's hierarchy, right? So if you go to Maslow's hierarchy, that's exactly what Elon is talking about. So
Exactly.
when you have abundance in all the other spheres, and that no longer motivates you, you look at the next level of motivation, and the last pinnacle of that is where you don't you have all the other things in life. Then you say, okay, why am I here? Right? Till then, the more basic and
Self-actualization.
exactly. So I think maybe the advancement in material is going to accelerate the direction towards spirituality. And what I missed mentioning in my correlation is I was mentioning these big people coming to spirituality as an example where they have reached their pinnacles of materialism, but then they went to spirituality in the end, right? So, in the same way, but because they are idols at that level, that has inspired many others to also question it much before they reach their pinnacles of material progress, right? So that's broadly what I've missed saying, but very interesting conversation. And of course, interesting times we live in. We don't know what to expect every day, literally, right? So I was on a call with somebody in a few days back. This AI world is moving so
Yeah, Jay
fast
Baba,
that I think,
I want to make
yeah.
a Jay Baba, I want to make a comment here.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, sure, go ahead.
listening to all of you guys, it's. I think Sunil had a great question, and the comments were also interesting. But the way I look at it is like we are all in a play. Okay, I think that being under Baba's umbrella, we all know that the only real question in life to ask is who am I, and the answer is given. And we are all trying to gain that experience of divine love or whatever. So one side is either life is simple or life is complicated. So pre-industrial economy, life was very simple. The only goal was, to focus on spirituality. It was not about becoming a trillionaire or going to Mars or something like that. Today, we are dealing with two variables. First, material freedom, roti kapda makan. I think that example that he gave about that guy, that Swami or whatever that guy who was trying to leave home and come back, come to Baba. And Baba clearly
This is
said that
Swami.
you got to do your duties. Yeah. And also, Karthik, when he commented about spirituality, look, the population of the world has gone up. The numbers are still low. Quantitatively, yes, the numbers have gone up in terms of people becoming aware of spirituality. But unfortunately, with all the babas out there with the blah blah game, there's a lot of confusion out there. To be very frank with you, from my travels, what I've seen that yes, today the younger generation are exposed to materialism much more quicker. They get handouts. They also have more opportunities to become materially successful at a very young age. So all those are there. But fundamentally, how are you as a person? I think that problem is challenge is much more severe now because of too many distractions that we have. So I think to answer Sunil's question, um, there are two ways of looking at it. Somebody said, more the obstacles, quicker the path. So I think
Hmm.
that uh, with all the distractions that we have today, and here we are, like since COVID, we have been part of this group, and we know how many people have been part of this group since time memorial, and how many people have dropped out. So in a way, we are very lucky to be able to hold on to Baba's Daman. But I think it's not very complicated. I think, as Baba said, as every human being has full and complete consciousness, super consciousness, but we are covered by sanskaras which we are trying to dissolve. I think it's not the external distraction challenge. I think the once you get over the external distraction, people blaming you or abusing you or not getting a promotion or not getting a salary or your children are not doing well. But if you go internally, I think the challenge is how you work on yourself. Despite all the circumstances that you're surrounded with. So I think that we are in a great time period. Abundance is there. We can lead a very simple life of having simple organic food and using public transportation and so on and so forth. So I think the choice rests up to us. And the beauty about Baba is he is given this direct connection to him. and we don't need any intermediaries. Then it's up to us. It's to me, it's like Baba has given us the PhD now. Now we are under tenure, publish or perish, going through the associate assistant professor, kind of situation. So in a way, I think we are in a very interesting time, and we are very lucky. Only thing we have to do is put it into practice. I think that is the main challenge that I see, and we are all player actors, going through the 7 stages of life, 16 hours a day. Jai Baba.
One comment I would like to give to you, Kama, is we should not forget we are loving Baba because Baba gave us that ability to love him. Otherwise, we wouldn't be loving. And Baba picked only a few group. Group may consist few thousands, but they're all spread all over the world. And they have their own individual journey. When they reach Baba, it all depends upon their work and their predetermined time. Rest of them, they're also God enjoying, right? One has to totally experience the ignorance. Then only he will cross this sixth degree. So many people, since 1921, the population has tremendously accelerated. It used to be like a less than 5.5, something like that. And around 1921, 22, it's gone so much. Now it's like a 8.5, 8.5 billion, right? 8.5 billion. Yeah. And also I heard from some astrological person who is interested, he lives in Florida, he's an American, I think, maybe from him. Somewhere I heard that people who are born after 1969, they have some special Rekha in their hand. Rekha means the line, right? Some special line. I don't know what that is. Somehow I feel probably population escalating and this whatever this astrological thing happening is all connected with Baba's manifestation. And Baba's manifestation, I don't know whether I heard you right or not, 700 years, right? Avatar comes back 700 to 1400 years, but Avatar's manifestation lasts for 100 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, can I just summarize my thoughts in 2 points so that we can wrap up this question? Very interesting thoughts from everybody. I think the forces of Maya have accelerated, and so might be the God's work on spirituality. So, what Karthik said, what Kama said, numbers, percentages, what I was thinking. But there's definitely something happening in Baba's world, or spiritual world and material world, both. We may not know everything, so we don't need to comment. And back to Sanjay ji's answer, 10 by 10, Baba ka daman chute na. So I constantly remember that thought. 100% mark Sanjay ji. Just love Baba, remember Baba, do your best. Full stop. Baki sab bekar hai. So that's my summary. Yeah, sorry if I summarize wrongly.
Yeah. No, Jai Baba, Sunil, you're correct. Again, coming back to the question, loving Baba, one can keep talking about it, but how are you doing it in your day-to-day action? I don't want to be a mama's boy, of course, I want to be like Baba's boy, but I don't want to keep putting Baba on a pedestal. The whole idea is how am I dealing with my day-to-day interaction, both in the animate and the inanimate world. I think that how to love God 8 postulates, which is like the 10 Commandments, clearly gives us kind of a direction. So I think we have to go beyond Baba, the personal form of God, and understand, as he said, you're finding your own self, which is not different from Baba. Baba is a mentor, coach. Yes, fine enough. Let's try to transcend that and keep looking at where we are in terms of how we interact with people, our relationships on a day-to-day basis. That's what is loving Baba all about. Hey, Baba.
Agreed, sir. 100%. 100 marks to you as well. I'm a liberal.
Yes. No, but it's a very key rejoinder. Your summary was perfect, but we have to take that summary with the rejoinder from Kama. Practice.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it
So,
into
Sureshji,
practice.
Remember
Jai
Baba
Baba.
in practice. Remembering Baba and feel his company is not without the
Yes.
surrenderance and follow his instructions. So it's not without that.
Let-
And
Jai
what
Baba.
Kamaji
That's
said
the
is
only
absolutely
thing we have
correct.
to practice,
Yeah, it
remembering
has to
him. The
precipitate
only
into our actions and what we do. Absolutely. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
One
Yeah,
small
Ashokji,
summary
before.
here.
Yes, please, Mamaji.
Uh,
Jai,
there
I
was a
just want to
time
add
when
that
it was
the travails of the
Vanaprastha
New World Order
Hey,
and
hold on.
discourses is a good
Two of you are
starting point to
speaking.
think.
Two of you are speaking. So I'll request. I had already asked Ashokji, and I thought maybe he's already outside and he was struggling. Ashokji, please finish what you're saying.
Yeah, just half a minute. I think the travails of the New World Order, when we began the discourses first time, is a good starting point. And we can build on that. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Yes. Jai Baba. Babaji, your summary.
uh, no, regarding what is the change between, say, meditation, uh, constantly remembering with Namajap and all that earlier. So what Baba has told us is keep Baba in your heart all the time, remember him and do your duty. So there is no vanaprastha. You keep doing what you are supposed to do in this world, which is ever changing, but keep always him in the heart, always remember him. So that is a constant 24-hour meditation. So that is the only difference I feel has happened with Baba. So not a strict procedural way of say, uh, going to God in a structured way and all that. He is always there. You are with him and you are him. So keep that going to your smallest to biggest self all the time. Hey, Baba.
Jai
Very
Baba.
beautiful.
Jai Baba.
And
Yeah.
interesting concept where the old model of vanaprastha or sannyasa may not really be required, which is correct. In Baba's world, there's less relevance for that. You can go about your day-to-day life, but then you cannot lose sight of him. Okay, it was a lovely reading, and more importantly, lovely discussion prompted by, as usual,